So I'm kind of starting this garage channel goodness for a couple reasons. I always kind of wanted to do something a bit, you know, entrepreneurial with vent stuff and build stuff and sell it. And then I kind of fell into the adult game where you start working for somebody and your time kind of goes out the window. But if you are watching this and you're from my company, I really love working there and would never want to work anywhere else. Thanks. Let's get started. This is a 1990 Miata. I got this chassis for a bargain. It has some good stuff on it. I used to have a black Miata. It had a bit of rust underneath, and because I had two Miatas, I kind of had to choose between one of them because, you know, there's no room in my garage. It's not a massive shop or anything, as you can see. So I chose this one because it's cleaner, it has an interior. I don't know if I'm going to regret that down the road. The frame rails are a little pancaked. I do have some cool stuff coming to help me with that. As you can see, the front bumper here, it's not going to be the original front bumper that's going to come on this car, unfortunately. This car was actually, the graphics you can see, they're from a company called Spinny Whoosh that's local here to Tampa. And maybe we'll see if we can get them to do the graphics on the bumper and maybe to wrap the bumper or whatever that turns out to be. That would be pretty cool to bring them back in. So, a little bit about this Miata. It has no engine and no transmission, and I'll show you guys that a little bit. A view of it while I continue to ramble. So the Miata has no engine and no transmission. It's in pretty decent shape. Sorry if you hit a bump there, it's because my tripod is pretty big. It has most of the interior. It came with this awesome glass top, which, wow, probably worth more than what I paid for the car in its entirety. It also, I believe, has a Torsen. Torsens are a limited slip differential that are basically the good ones to get for the Miatas. So yeah, that's the car a little bit. If you want to see around my garage, that's my parts shelf. It's kind of sad. I need to do some work on that. I got some exhausts and stuff hanging up there. Anybody needs some exhaust, you just let me know. Hit me up. Wow, look at that. Cherry picker. And there's an engine over here. I don't know if you guys noticed this engine. What is that? So my black car used to have this engine in it. And some of the astute children in class may note that there is an interesting looking manifold on that engine. That engine used to have a nice little turbo on it and make about 230 to 260 wheel, depending on how much boost I wanted to run. And I took that out of a running car while it was running and driving. And that is questionably the dumbest thing I've ever done. Check that out. That's some, oh, those are the fenders and the hood for this car. Hood's got a little ding there, but we'll get that sorted out. And then I got my Steve's Wall of tires. So, do you guys think you want to see a turbo? I think probably you would. I have, with this Miata, I have the Bilstein suspension with some 12K, 8K is what we're going to run for starters, and if we have to get 10, we'll get 10, but I think 12 to 8K would be pretty good. There's our old intercooler. That thing's looking kind of cool. So this is the turbo kit. I picked this turbo up for very cheap on eBay. $120 on 3 Performance. You can check it out here. I don't know if it's going to be in the frame, but we'll move it a little bit so you can see it better. I still have the EBC, the electronic boost controller, hooked up, and all the drain pipes and everything just for ease. So this is the turbo that I got from eBay. It was like on 3 Performance, 50 trim T3. And people think, wow, T3, big turbo. Not the case. This thing spools real quick. I have more spool than the computer can handle. So I actually have to bring the spool in, bring full boost in at about 3,800. I could actually have it at probably 3,400, but we start to get some weird ignition stuff. So I let that come in around 3,800. It's a cool little turbo. I mean, for 120 bucks, you know, wow. I also got this intercooler piping, if you can see, in there. That came with the car, and so did that sweet little intercooler back there. So, like I said, this turbo was making about 250 horsepower. Was the setting I had it last on at about 200 kPa, which is 14.7 psi, or 14 point something psi, about 14 psi anyways. So yeah, that was kind of cool, I thought, and interesting. So here you can see the back of the Miata. We have some, you can see the kind of sweet detail. They're supposed to look like rivets, like on a World War II fighter plane. And there you can see on the side of that, going up there. Here's the question. Do we want to throw this turbo 1.6 motor back in and make 250 wheel, or should it be more complex and maybe swap a different motor in? I also have a 1.8 block that I'll show you guys in a minute here, and that could go in as well. I don't know, I just kind of have a lot of parts. Like I don't throw things away, and I take things apart often, so it accumulates. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Anyway, so I have a 1.8 block head. Everything, it just needs to be machined, and maybe I might need another crank, but if not, I could always throw that together, get some new bearings and whatnot. Anyways, that would be interesting to do, but expensive, but I don't know, maybe worth it, especially if I can sell the 1.6 turbo engine for a good price. I mean, I know it's a good engine and can make some decent power, so it's kind of silly to throw it away. But, and there is a but, I do dumb shit all the time, so it's very possible that will be something that I get rid of and get with something more complex than it needs to be, and takes a very long time in this project. But if we do the 1.6, the good thing about that will be probably the project will be up and running much quicker, so take that into consideration. I don't know if I'm going to listen to anybody's vote, or even if you guys want to vote, but whatever, I'll throw it out there, why not, right?